Hello everybody, welcome to this new episode of Books Up Close. My name is Chris Lloyd. I hope you're all doing well. So this episode we are talking about Shon Faye's wonderful non-fiction book, The Transgender Issue, An Argument for Justice. It came out this year, 2021, and I'll be up front here. I think this book is incredible. I'm going to recommend it highly, but I'll talk you through why. I think it's really important that you read this book and pick it up and I do a review of it because it's a really awful time right now for trans people, especially in the UK. Not that it's ever been easy, but right now there is an all-out assault in the media and the press and elsewhere against trans people and gender diverse people more broadly, and LGBTQ plus people more broadly than that. And I really think we need books like this that are clear and concise and sensible and actually imagine a world in which everyone can flourish and survive. In that way, I definitely recommend this book over any of the others that are on the market right now. I don't even need to name them. You know who I'm talking about. But there are other books written by cisgender white women talking about trans people as though they are experts on the issue, when clearly they are not. And not only that, but they are not experts remotely in the field of gender studies either. So please do read books by trans people if you want to know about trans issues. That seems really logical saying it out loud, but the British press seems to not be able to understand that. I could go on for a long time about the way in which certain broadcasting companies and newspapers are targeting trans people on a weekly basis, and it is a weekly basis. But instead, I'm going to celebrate this book, which is so profound and well written that anyone can pick it up and get so much from it. One of the key drivers of the book, really, and Shon says this at the beginning, is that the kind of liberation of trans people is actually the liberation of everyone. Now, this point really is kind of an extension of critical thought that is developed by Black feminists and other feminists of colour, queer people, disabled scholars and activists for decades, really. And it reminded me of Lola Olufemi's book, which I reviewed previously. I'll put a link up the top, Feminism Interrupted, in that these writers and commentators are thinking about how social justice really needs to be linked up. If we are to liberate a particular population, that needs to be done in a joined up way. Like the liberation of gay people, for example, cannot happen without also liberating bi people and pan people and trans people and so on, and straight people and cis women and disabled people, right? Like these are all interconnected things. Like our identities are not singular, they are multiple. And in order to acknowledge that, we have to address all issues simultaneously and join them up. And Shon Faye is so brilliant at that in this book. For example, there are chapters on the kind of state of trans rights in the UK right now, which is really sobering and quite upsetting read if you've not seen what's going on or don't really have a sense of what's happening for trans people right now in the UK. It's a quite a hard read. There are chapters on sex work, there are chapters on state violence, there are chapters on the body, there are chapters on class, there are chapters on feminism, and there's a chapter on LGBTQ plus identities and how the T is trying to be removed by so many people and various charities and organisations. Again, I think you might know who I'm talking about. But what the book is great at is saying that we have to fight together, that LGB without the T or any of the other letters is really nothing, and indeed to remove the T from that initialization, to get rid of trans people from that grouping, will also have a knock-on effect, right? If you target trans people, then bisexual people and lesbians will be next, right? And they are, and they always have been, and that is how these things work. So what is great is the book doesn't just imagine a kind of future where trans people are liberated, but where everyone is liberated from the workings of patriarchy and racism and heteronormativity and so on. In short, I really can't praise this book enough. You should also look at Shon Faye's other brilliant work online. There's some great videos. There's a wonderful interview between her and Owen Jones that I recommend. This book is perfect. Buy it for your relatives, buy it for yourself, for on holiday wish lists this month, and sing about it really loudly. If you know people who are struggling with these particular issues, or how they frame them, or how to talk about trans issues. Like, this is a really, really good book. It's accessible and open and written in a very kind of clear and lucid way. So Obviously, I'm giving this 5 out of 5. I'd give it more if I could. I mean, this is my channel, I can make up the rules, but it's brilliant and I highly recommend it. As ever, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell for notifications, and also comment below. Tell me what you think if you've read this book. Tell me your thoughts. If you are an anti-trans troll coming here to critique this video, I'm probably not going to engage unless you're doing it in a good faith way, and chances are you won't be. So please don't do that. If you want to have a normal conversation, we can do that. But please tell me what you think of this book, whether there are other books by trans writers you'd recommend. Let's get a reading list going below. And until next time, keep reading, stay healthy, and see you soon.